Hello everybody and welcome to NBL Overtime. A big man out of Perth. What's the latest with Melo Trimble? And Andrew Bogut's had an outstanding week with the Golden State Warriors. He's now a starter. What does it mean for him and the Sydney Kings in NBL 20? All that and plenty more. Get involved anytime you like. Hashtag NBL 20, hashtag NBL Overtime, hashtag See Incredible. My name's Cameron Luke. Corey, Carey, Homicide, Williams. Making news as always. Mate, how you doing, big fella?
Look, I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. Happy to be here with you both.
Good. I'm glad. Liam Santamaria, hello to you.
Hello. Hello. I've been better, to be honest.
What's wrong?
What's wrong with you?
You didn't ask, but...
What happened?
I strained my hammy.
Oh,
Doing
you did.
what?
Yeah, that's a good call.
Don't tell me hooping.
Weekend away
Yep.
with the fam. Challenged the missus to a couple of sprints on the beach.
Oh, my goodness.
And pulled up
you
lame
what?
in the second event.
Do not challenge someone. Do not challenge anyone to a one-on-one contest, regardless of the activity, unless you know you can win.
Well,
unless you know you can win. More on that in the next couple of weeks, actually, as we develop some people who want to get involved. But we
Involved in what?
A one-on-one clash.
Involved in what way?
Oh,
Because Carey wanted to make sure there's a second prize. I'm all in for winner takes all, but now Carey wants
second
money
prize?
for second prize.
You can't possibly believe this. You cannot possibly believe this.
Did we have discussions with someone the last 3 days about being paid an appearance fee so the loser gets money?
Look, what I can say about
Did you ensure
Yes or no?
that was locked in?
No, what I can say is this. We've had a conversation with a legitimate sponsor.
Yeah.
From a respected business in this country who is willing to sponsor this one-on-one tournament. This is serious.
To make sure that if he gets lucky and scores a Hail Mary bucket, you come away with something.
It's not going to happen.
You'll see.
It's not going to happen.
We'll get to that in the next couple of weeks. I want to play before the USA Boomers game, but logistically it might be tough. Let's start with Tom Jervis, though, because he's on the way out of Perth Wildcats. And Liam Santamaria, you're the man who knows all. What does it mean for both the Wildcats and who might be coming in and what it means for Jervis in his career?
Tom Jervis is an interesting one, isn't he? Because he didn't have a great season in his return to the Wildcats. He went from the cellar-dwelling Brisbane Bullets and then obviously won a title, but came up big in the big moments, especially in the grand final series. His pick-and-roll defence, as they were really trying to lock down on Casper Ware and make life difficult for Melbourne United at that point of their offence, was big. And he was a crucial member of that. But interestingly, it's not going to work out with the Wildcats to bring him back. Now, they put an offer on the table that, from what I understand, included a pay increase. It's only a 1-year deal.
Yep.
Now, there's another element to this, which is that his wife's a lawyer. She works here in Melbourne. His kid's here in Melbourne as well with them. And that's not easy to do as a family man, to live away from the family for that period of time. So he is having conversations with the Cairns Taipans.
Okay.
Okay.
And who else?
And also the South East Melbourne Phoenix.
Okay.
Just quickly on that, because when you said that obviously his wife and his kid is in Melbourne, the Cairns Taipans situation is always interesting. Minutes potentially, a good bunch of minutes potentially available at Cairns. What that means in terms of the rest of their roster, obviously they're still to re-sign Nate Jawai. My understanding is that there's ongoing discussions there, that there's a lot of rumours about him potentially going back to Perth. Cairns tell me they are still in constant communication with him. He's playing over in Europe right now, and they still hope to re-sign him. But yeah, they're recruiting Tom Jervis as well. Well, does it add any credit to the fact that Carey had a source who works in an office next to the Perth Wildcats office who suggested that Sean Long might be a Wildcat, or at least there was discussions towards? Does this give any credit to it, or at least add any fuel to it?
I think that they're going to go and import 5. Whether that's Sean Long, we don't know. But they're going to go and import 5.
What do you know?
Mum's the word at the moment. My source is quiet at the moment, but
Sean Long.
Yeah.
we'll be. I spoke to Sean Long actually a week ago, but
Well, what did he say?
we keeping things quiet at the moment.
He's gearing up for Summer League.
He's gearing up for Summer League for sure. He's not even playing right now in his off season. He's fully focused on attempting to make his dream back to the NBA. But
given that from time to time you chat with Sean Long, would you think that it is unlikely that he'll sign anywhere prior to Summer League?
I believe that, again, it's business decision. The check would have to be more than right for him to make a move. early. But I think he's fully focused right now on the NBA.
The thing is, too, I agree. I don't think he'd sign anywhere. I don't think he's not the only player that wouldn't sign prior to Summer League. But because of the NBA out clauses, if someone came to him with the right offer, not dissimilar to the Mitch Creek Southeast Melbourne Phoenix offer, because if he makes the NBA, the NBL club is traditionally rather welcoming.
It doesn't make sense for him to sign anywhere before Summer League.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But it's also like if he signs at an NBL club, even if he goes to Summer League and does incredibly well, it doesn't at all impede the direction of him getting back to the NBA or getting to the NBA.
No, and we saw that with Bryce Cotton a couple of years ago when he came in, dropped 45 points in the grand final series, and we all said, that's the last we're ever going to see Bryce Cotton. He's gone back to the NBA. Yeah. Went to Summer League and was playing with the Atlanta Hawks, playing point guard, and he didn't have a great summer, and halfway through that thing he re-signed with the Wildcats.
All right, Sean Long is obviously one player we continue to converse about. Melo Trimble's another one. There was in some interesting recruiting or re-recruiting tactics last week around barbershops and a possible deal in place from the Illawarra Hawks due to the fact that someone got in contact with you on Twitter. What's the latest with Melo Trimble?
Well, you tell me.
I don't know. You're the journalist.
You hang around Melbourne United a fair bit.
Huh?
What's the word on Melo Trimble?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I expect him to be in the league. And obviously, I don't know if there's a massive coincidence, but I like the fact that Melbourne put up that photo last week thanking Casper Ware, and he was shooting a jump shot over Melo Trimble. Now, I don't know if you can read into that what you can, but the rumour is there. But from all reports, we got no real idea. What do you think?
The word on Melo Trimble to Melbourne United is heating up.
Is it a nice replacement, Kerry?
I mean, it's going to be a difficult replacement. Casper Ware, I mean, we all know who Casper Ware is and what he meant to this organization, Melbourne United. He's gone now. Now somebody has to slide in. It's another opportunity for a dynamic player. Melo Trimble's a dynamic talent. We know what he can do. The question will be, if he joins Melbourne United, will he be enough to get them back to the promised land? That's what the question is going to be.
We spoke at many times this year, and offensively he's so gifted. But defensively he was, and he probably did get better as the year went on. It might have been the adjustment into the professional league and all the rest of it. Dean Vickerman is a defensive-oriented coach, and they were the best team defensively when they won the championship. And last year we talk about Casper Ware being so good defensively. Is he the right fit for the way that Dean Vickerman needs his team to play defensively? Do you think he can take that next step or two? I'm not expecting him to be Casper Ware two-way play just yet.
Right.
But is he the right fit for Dean Vickerman-led team?
I mean, he's not, like you say, he's not going to be a Casper Ware level defender.
But he still has to step it up.
Right, no, he does. And look, he came before his season with the Taipans, when he was arriving in Australia. I chatted to him and said, well, what if you want to get to the NBA, what's the next? And he said, I've got to improve my defense.
No doubt.
I spoke to Mike Kelly. He said, look, he's a super talented player. He needs to improve his defense. And it was a big issue for the Taipans at the start of the season. We called for it here on Overtime to say, you need to introduce some accountability into that team where guys who aren't defending can't stay on the floor. And boy, did Mike Kelly start to do that as the season progressed. And it, like you said, it improved. Now, the question is, does Dean Vickerman look at his skill set and watch the tape and go, you know what? And this is what he did with Demetrius Conger.
Yep.
Last year at Summer League, he was sitting down and having conversations with Conger's agent, and he was open to the possibility of signing him, despite the question marks over Conger's ability to stay in front of the ball in his defense. And he said, you know what, I've seen enough to suggest that in the right system with the right coaching, he can improve a lot as a defender. Now, that will be the question, whether they feel that way about Melo Trimble. And like I said, my sources tell me that that they're having pretty good conversations, getting closer and closer with Melbourne United.
I don't know if this is in fact true or not, but I still believe you are Jeremy Kendall's manager. Will he land a roster spot? Of course, 3x3 Pro Hustle's been outstanding. Where do you think it is on Kendall right now in his future?
I think Kendall should go to Cairns. He could start there. They don't even have a lot of money for him, for an import at the point guard spot. So that would be a good signing for the Cairns Taipans. I think maybe he can go back and be a backup for Brisbane behind Sobey. Or maybe he can go to Adelaide.
What do you hear?
He can play in the NBL.
He will not be. I would be stunned if he's at Brisbane, considering they've got Glidden. Of course, I know Adam Gibson's gone now.
He's a point guard.
Yeah. That's. I'm not saying he's not a point guard.
Glidden has nothing to do with his position.
Glidden, Sobey, Kadee. They're going to go a four-man rotation. One of them's going to be an import. I'd be very surprised.
I think he's going to start the season as a Brisbane Bullet.
Really?
Damn.
Do you know what he's doing right now?
I don't.
What is he doing right now?
This is a guy who NBL, QBL, Seabull, MVPs, Grand Final MVPs, Championships, scoring leaders. Do you know what he's doing right now? He's not playing anywhere except training in Brisbane, putting his eggs in that basket, saying, you know what? We said on this show, we don't expect them to go a third import.
So is he one of two imports that Brisbane are going to go with?
No. We said Lamar Patterson, try to get him back, import 3. Mm-hmm. Import 4 in replace of Cam Bairstow. And then we said that'll probably do it for imports.
Thought so.
Well, why not sign Jeremy Kendall as the other guy in your backcourt rotation?
Look, you don't have to pay him a lot. You know what he's going to bring. And he's more value for dollar. You could pay him the minimum. He belongs on the roster.
And he's such a good dude.
He's a great guy.
I don't disagree with any of that. I think Cairns would be a better fit for him because I think he'd have an opportunity to play and be hungry. And this is what happened. When that game where you said he must get a gig, they played in Melbourne, he was outstanding. In fact, in both Melbourne wins over that New Year period. But as the year went on, we didn't really see that aggressiveness or the opportunity within that.
You're absolutely right, right there.
That's why there's 4 of them there, and I don't disagree with. I get the point guard.
That he shouldn't sign with Brisbane.
I think
he should go.
If Cairns were interested,
Cairns should be.
I think for him, we would see more of that skill set at the Cairns Taipans, where he may well be a starter. No way will he start the Brisbane Bullets.
Look, you're absolutely right. So he's going to get the minutes.
And we'll see the hunger that we saw when he was so desperate to get that spot and how good he was. I think at the Cairns Taipans, I have no idea if they're interested at all, but that would be a better spot.
What does it do for Brisbane?
Individually for Kendall.
What does it do for Brisbane if they can lock him into that backcourt rotation? You just mentioned the rotation just there. If you get those guys we spoke of, you got Matt Hodgson, Vakona and Tarangi off the bench. Will Magnay getting better and better? They're looking good.
I agree with you.
They're deep, but are they too deep? Because of it, like Sobey's going to play a lot of minutes at the point. Glidden and Kadee can both slide over if need be.
Good guys. It's a team full of good guys.
Don't question that one little bit, but if you're paying an import or you're stacked and you only get 8 or 10 minutes, and it takes away your ability to really play to the best of you.
But with Kendall, it's like you're signing a local.
Yeah.
You know, he's been around, he's been playing that role, and he's the guy who wants to be on a roster from the start of the season. And he's still classified as an import, so I think it's a good fit.
I don't disagree that he should be in the NBL. I'm just like, for him, I think Cairns would be a better opportunity.
You think the Taipans should sign Jeremy Kendall, and you are our Melo Trimble replacement. You are our point guard, and as these Casper Ware and Bright, we're going to roll with you, Jeremy Kendall.
A little bit.
Wait a minute here.
They
finished in last.
Is he good defensively?
Yes, he is.
Imagine him having a crack at the point guard position defensively and getting a high-scoring 2-man and just changing a little bit.
I'm telling you, that man can hoop.
He can hoop. He can hoop. I just think it's a good fit there.
Yeah, look, I think it's a good fit. If Brisbane can get him to play and he plays 10 or 12 minutes, it's not a bad thing for Brisbane. For Kendall, who is an NBL player, I think that Cairns for him would be the better spot.
Okay. You know what I love? I just love the fact that... I love you get
10% of wherever he signs. So where is he going to sign?
I just love the fact that we're spending this much time talking about Jeremy Kendall and where we feel he should land at. You know what I mean? Like, I just love the fact that he's just an underdog and he's going to get an opportunity, and I just can't wait I'm going to announce it first.
Yeah, I know you are, because you're the manager. No one knows until you sign it. What I will say, I love his tenacious attitude. You got a tick foul in the 3x3 Pro Hustle a couple of weeks ago.
And turned it up.
Then went bang.
You burned it up from there.
Speaking of guards, Kyle Adnam. Of course, championship winner at United, went to Sydney, and so much of the talk in recent times has been that he will go back to South East Melbourne Phoenix because being a Kilsyth junior, that is perfectly in his wheelhouse and where he's from. But they did sign Adam Gibson, who we think is going to be a backup point guard. So what's the latest here?
Yeah, I think he's going to end up at South East Melbourne. Okay. My understanding is that's really deep.
That was deep.
He had a really good first half of the year as a backup point guard.
He did. And he's from the heart belt there.
Everything works until they signed Adam Gibson as the backup point guard.
But Adam Gibson's a backup combo.
Okay.
And you can play him at the 2. He plays a lot of minutes. He's played a lot of minutes at the 2 over the years. And I think Kyle Adnam coming back to the heartland, grew up in Lilydale, played for Kilsyth. And I think that's what I'm hearing, and I think if it happens, he's going to be a good signing.
Look, he is, everything works. He's the perfect role model for kids. He's not overly, in fact, he's quite small. You know, he's surfy type of look. He's like the boy next door. And that's when you're trying to appeal to a whole generation of kids amongst what they're trying to do. The community club, and the right way to go about it, they rolled out Kyle Adnam, who could literally be your next door neighbour, and say, look what you can achieve if you work hard and you stay to the course and all the rest of it. You can win an NBL championship, you can have cracks at the Sydney Kings, you can make a living coming out of Lilydale, and I think it's a perfect guy, rather than a 6'10" guy who there are very few people who can be that big.
True. And if you're trying to build that rivalry with Melbourne United, that's it. You know, he's got that chip on his shoulder. Say, hey, I came out. You gave me an opportunity. I appreciate that. I came out and balled. The kids loved me. My jerseys were in the stands, and you gave up on me. You went with another guy. I'm coming back to town. The
only thing that's probably just works against him a little bit, like he's a big surfer. You know, Knox ain't that close to the beach. Like when he's living on Bondi, it's different. All right. Hey, look, of course, around this time of year, there's signings and re-signings and players, obviously. And the thing about the NBL that's gone to a new level in recent years around free agency is that players do move. And it means there's been an explosion of thank you posts. Fire a couple away, because this is what's popped up. Here we go. So Dane Pinot, who obviously is probably best known for being as great as he was as a backup. And I think he was defensive player of the Kings, has left the Kings, and best known for the speech he gave for Bogut.
It would have been nice if that was one of the little pictures there on Dane Pinot. Just him at the lectern.
Great Mola. Well, where do we go on thank you posts? Like,
does everyone get one?
Well, in all due respect to these four players who have had, and Craig Mola, of course, a championship player as well, these guys have added something at different points and are still in the NBL. Okay, so they're legitimate NBL players, but it just feels like every single player who leaves gets a thank you post. Is it overkill?
I don't believe it's overkill.
Really?
Because when every single player leaves a club, what do? They send thank you. Quote, tweets, Instagram posts. So I just think it's a good gesture that it goes both ways. A lot of times we only see things go one way. This is great for me. I like this.
I have no view on this issue whatsoever.
Look,
I'm sorry.
Look, I don't disagree with your point, and it's always nice as a community feeling, and the fact is that, hey, you know what, you gave us some good service and good luck in the future. It just seems to pop up every single day.
It's a little grinchy from you know, to have an issue with the thank you post.
A grinchy type of character.
It is definitely a little grinchy.
It's a little grinchy.
Wow. Okay, thank you post. Keep swinging them up then. Keep swinging them up to the NBL. I just think it's overkill at different times. And you know what it's not going to do? Build rivalries. You know, I want people to be salty that someone left. I want Melbourne United to be spewing that Casper Ware left them and went to the Sydney Kings.
Did they put up a Casper Ware thank you?
They did. They said thank you.
But they dropped Melo Trimble.
Yeah, they dropped Melo Trimble in the photo.
Oh, yeah.
What could have been? Imagine they had actually...
They could have had... There's a whole lot of players he done shot over.
Exactly.
Got shots by himself, profile shot.
You know what I would
man,
like
yeah, that's definitely
Imagine they had put Melo Trimble shooting a three and had Casper playing defence as their thank you pick. But yeah, just...
That was one step away from having that picture and just the caption, thank you next.
Yeah, that's not bad. I want to see, we're seeing Dame Lillard and Russell Westbrook, who really hate each other. I want to see that come into the NBL, where there's a legit rivalry and goes to the new level. So we'll see how it goes. All right, what I love about Carey Williams is the very fact that he makes news in the off-season. And Andrew Bogut is obviously DeMarcus Cousins tears the quad. Looks like he might be out for the rest of the NBA playoffs. And Andrew Bogut gets promoted to the starting lineup and does a wonderful job in the two straight games where they were able to win Game 3 and Game 4. And he was outstanding. And you have questioned on Twitter if he'll in fact come back. Is that right?
Look, here's what I stated, okay? And it wasn't for, you know, anyone to raise anything. It was just a legitimate
Just so you're aware, how many Twitter followers have you got?
About 8,000.
Okay,
that's
so
not really a lot. But I mean,
if you put in the public realm after you've had a little beef with Bogut, of course someone's going to raise something.
This was a compliment.
I'm not saying it wasn't.
And there's no beef with Bogut. But anyway, the point is, I said...
there's no beef because he told us your real name.
You know, I said... 8 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks, and a win after, as you said, Boogie Cousins goes down. If he keeps this form up and they win a championship, Could we blame him if he did not come back? Because as you know, at that point, he would be hot property. Now we're talking a few $1 million for a season. When I say a few, I'm going to say I don't know. I'm just making up a number. Let's say someone said, okay, here's $5 to $10 million for the year. Could we blame him if he did not come back? That's just all I said. Yeah. All hell broke loose.
All hell did break loose, and
the owner tweets me.
Yep.
And after that,
how did he address you, Paul Smith?
Oh, Paul Smith said, Carrie. He said, Carrie. I was like, I didn't even see it because there was about 30 comments. It was a lot of engagement. So I sat back.
That's all that matters.
It was all good. That's what I said.
Oh, it was great content.
That's all that matters
the fact
to me.
He called you Carrie gave me an automatic like.
So then the next... But I mean, is this not a legitimate question to raise?
Yeah, well, it is. Firstly, in his introductory presser, when he signed with the Kings, he said, it's a 2-year deal. There's no NBA outs. This essentially retires me from the NBA. All right, well, clearly it didn't. But
that's the one thing. Go ahead.
All right, it didn't. But after the season's over, and now he said we were in constant communication throughout the season once they hit me up, and then when it got to the end of the year, all right, we took it up and I went over, and it's worked out beautifully because
of course, this is a storybook ending.
It's worked out beautifully. It makes now that the fact is no NBA out still exists in that contract. Right. So he needs to, and he has himself said, I'm coming back. And to me, it works perfectly for him to do it again next year.
Yeah. See, and
come back, play the season for the Kings, give the ring to the Kings.
Yeah.
No, I am not. But look, you can't disregard the Perth Wildcats. But
you're right.
Okay.
I told you I'd never do that again.
You're right.
But go ahead.
See,
and then go and do it again. And his body's fresh and he plays like this.
Because he is so intelligent and he's such a smart basketballer, and we do see that, and it fits nicely because he knows Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and the system. The fact is that he doesn't have to go over and play the entire year. Now, financially, as you pointed out, you probably make a bit more money, but he stays in shape, he stays fresh, he stays in good shape for the Olympics as well, because I think the Boomers need him for 2020 without the wear and tear of 100 games or whatever it might be. And then, because the NBL playoffs and when the finals, if they go all the way to the last day, it still gives him an opportunity to, 1, go back to the Warriors, or 2, fit into another veteran team because of his intelligence and his smarts. He knows he doesn't necessarily need to be proving himself.
Right.
And there will be clubs who will go, you know what, Andrew Bogut can pass. We've got shooter. He doesn't come in here. He hasn't got an ego. He doesn't want 15 and... okay, but in an NBA sense. So he's not rolling into an NBA franchise and going, hey, I want my shots.
IQ.
He is.
Right. Is it outstanding defensive communicator, rim protector?
So he doesn't have to play the entire season.
He is about to win another championship.
He is.
And I want to, you know what?
Go ahead, finish. He's going to do it.
What is he
playing 6 weeks, 2 months of basketball, nice basketball, without his body getting belted around, which could add to a length of his career.
Yeah.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Matt Logue from the Daily Telegraph, because every time you tweet, he gets another article on the back page.
Well, at least we know. At least we know where his inspiration is coming from.
Do you think?
Oh, whoa! Hold up. What?
You heard what I said.
So hang on.
Where did he? I tweeted that. What happened the next day? What did you just say?
Matt Logue wrote an article.
There you go. I don't tweet that. You think that's gonna happen right there? No, it's not gonna happen. If I tweet that, what's the owner name again?
Paul Smith.
Paul Smith responds. Legs grow with the tweet. He sees that, takes it and goes. I don't tweet that. He doesn't write.
Just give me a pen for a second. I was going to write down some of the names of who owes you 10% of
They owe me.
Jeremy Kendall. In fact, Bryce Cotton.
100%.
Yep.
Paul Smith. Sean Long.
Yep.
Who else?
Have you?
What's the writer?
Baron Davis.
Matt Lowe. Matt Lowe. 100%. I don't say these things. The legs don't grow.
Tell you what, if you get 10 people owes you 10%, whoo.
Looking good. I'm looking good right now, right?
On that note, I think it's time to get out of here. Oh, hashtag NBL Overtime to get involved. Hashtag NBL 20. Anything else you need to get off your chest before we're out of here, Kerry?
No.
No? You done?
No, I'm done.
Are you writing anything for the NBL website next couple of weeks?
I'm on leave.
For how long?
No, I'm just kicking back a little.
On leave what? Because of the hammy?
Yeah, the hammy. Yeah, I got to rest up.
That'll do me. Until next week, this has been
We are out of here, man. Oh my God.